you're making this shot trying to keep the bubble in the middle, but yet you're 40 miles off, and when I'm making a shot, you really don't care. The airplane is all over the sky. If the autopilot is messing up, you just let it go. I said, don't you think that you could hold it steadier when I am making a shot? And they said, well, okay, we're sorry. Well, I'd like to say that they were perfect in what they did, but they really did try. And it was a lot easier to make the shots once they were conscious of the platform that I had to have to shoot from. And I don't even remember telling you that.
Now, in addition to the sextant, there were a couple of other things that you would use to help you figure out where things were.
Yeah.
Like the waves.
Yes.
Like clouds.
Yes.
So can you tell us how you did that?
This is something that you learned from the crews that were there before you. And we learned that when a wave breaks, you know, there's swells and breaks and so forth. When a wave breaks, the foam, or the white cap, always slides into the wind. So by looking at that, you can tell the direction from which the wind is coming. And then you can estimate. Well, estimate may be a little bit strong. You can guess at the speed of the wind by how big those white caps are. Now, the only one that I really remember for sure is if the white cap, if the wind is blowing the white cap off before it breaks, that wind is in excess of 30 knots. But I don't remember what the others were, but you know how high it is by how big that white cap is, and you can get a pretty good estimate. The direction you know, because that white cap is going to slide into the wind. But the speed, you really don't know. It's, you know, you use everything you can. Now, navigating with clouds, I tell people that we used to navigate by the clouds, and they kind of shake their heads like he's about 2 bricks short of a full load. But thunderheads do not form over open water. Thunderheads depend on differential heating. The ocean does not really heat very much. I mean, in a period of a year, I think it varies like, what, 5 or 8 degrees or something. But a land mass gets the sun and it heats up. And if there's humidity, the humidity there will rise because heat rises, and as it takes that moisture aloft, it forms a cloud. And if it's big enough, it'll be a thunderhead, but at least it is a cloud. So you look at a map when you're flying into Pacific, and you see on your map that there's an island here, and there's an island here, and you are here. So you figure that cloud is over that island, and that cloud is over that island, and the other cloud is over another island, and you take what's called an astro compass, and it's just a little handheld instrument that you get an angle to that cloud from where you are, and then you shoot this one, and then you get your 3 points and you get your little triangle, and that's where you are. So it's, well, you know, the cloud may not be directly over that island because you can't maybe see the island. It may have drifted off a little bit one way or another, but the chances are that all of the clouds over all of those islands in that same area probably moved the same amount off of their, and you know, within 2 miles you're really good or you're really lucky, or probably both.
Not exactly GPS, like you said a little while ago. But
Right.
you guys did, I think, an amazing job considering. Were there plans in the event that you knew you were not going to be able to make it back in terms of how you were going to either bail out or ditch in the aircraft?
The only plan of which I'm aware is you would get to the closest land if you could and bail out. But as far as plan, the military mindset is like the teenage mindset. You don't figure that you are not coming back. You figure you are coming back. Yes, we're taught certain survival skills and all of that sort of thing, and it's in the back of your mind, maybe, but you're really concentrating on what you were doing, where you were going, what you're going to do when you get there. You're not really thinking about, but what if I don't get back? I mean, maybe the guys in Europe who were under attack from fighters and flak from the time that they hit the coast of the continent all the way in and all the way back, they may have been thinking about those things, but with our missions, it was really not of a great concern to us.
Had you ever gotten any training to jump out of a plane?
You are like my kids. One of my kids asked me one time, he said, "Daddy, do you wear a parachute?" I said, "Yes." He says, "Have you ever jumped?" I said, "No." And they said, "Well, shouldn't you jump just for practice?" I said, "Why do you practice something that has to be perfect the first time?" Yes, we had parachutes. Yes, we knew that they had to be tight so that they didn't emasculate you when you jumped. But you jumped, make sure you were clear of the airplane, you pulled the ripcord and hoped. I mean, it's a pretty simple operation, really. But as far as formal training, no. We knew how to fit a parachute and pull a ripcord.
And in the event, and based on what you were saying, I'm not sure there was, but in the event that you actually had to bail out, would you break radio silence and contact some sort of a rescue operation to let them know where you were bailing out?
As far as I know, the pilots would have done that. Now, the one heavily defended target that we hit a number of times, about 2.5 or 3 hours before we took off, a PBY Catalina, which is a flying boat, would go and would circle near the target area, so that if someone did get hit and they had to ditch or bail out, the rescue plane was there in place to rescue them. But out over the water, there no fighters could reach us, you know, and it was just not really a grave concern of ours.
Did you know of crews that were actually
No.
lost at sea?
No.
No.
The only crew that we lost was, we were on shipping searches for troop ships and supply ships. One crew, and this was a story within the squadron that I didn't know anything, I didn't know the facts firsthand or anything. This one crew had been on a shipping search, and they didn't see any ships that we were targeting, but along the shore they saw a barge, and the hot dog pilot, I guess, figured, well, we'll take care of that barge. And he went down and he got low and he made a number of passes so that his gunners could hit it. And whether he was distracted or he was just too low, he got too low, and when he made a turn he caught a wingtip, and that's it. I mean, he and the crew were lost, but that was stupidity, that wasn't combat. That's the only loss of which I'm aware.
Okay. All right, let's switch now to the actual combat missions. How would you generally characterize the kinds of missions that you were flying?
A majority of our mission, now, I haven't stopped to figure this out, but we flew 39 missions in the combat area. I would say that 25 or 30 of them were shipping searches. That is, they would tell each ship to go to a designated area and fly a box pattern on that area. And the box pattern, you start in the middle and you fly, we'll say 15 minutes south and west and north and east. And then starting at that point, you would fly out, say, 30 minutes, and you would just continually enlarge that box. And that's what you were searching for, were ships in that area. And if you found ships in your area, then you would call other ships who were on the same search and tell them where you were, and they would come and join, so that all could join in the attack of the target. So you could go out day after day after day after day and never ever see anything but water and islands and so forth. We were too far out to have any fighters to bother us. Normally we did not have any fighting ships out there, and we would just do that. And that's what I say, it was really very, very simple. Now, the remainder of the missions, we would fly bombing missions against Japanese-held cities in the Philippines. And one time we flew down to Java and hit the storage and shipping facilities in Surabaya. And we had we actually sank one supply ship, and this is it's a great tribute, as far as I'm concerned, to our navigator. And I'm not sure, Dave, whether I told you this or not, but we were on this shipping search, and one of the ships in our squadron had found this Japanese supply ship in a harbor near some of the Celebes Islands, and he notified us, and we all came in. And there were, as I recall, 6 of us, and we were the last to arrive, so we would be the last on the target. So the ships went in, and the first ship came in, and he dropped his bombs, and he missed. And the second ship came in, and he dropped his bombs, and he missed. And then we noticed, and we guessed, we noticed that he would turn, and then they would miss. And the next time, he would turn, and they would miss. And we guessed, the bombardier and I guessed, that what was happening was that the captain of that ship was looking with binoculars, because we came in one ship at a time from about 3,000 feet. If you get lower than 3,000 feet, you can't see ahead far enough to really have a good bomb run. So between 1,500 and 3,000 feet, you didn't come in low and skip bomb or anything like that. And we noticed, and we guessed that he's watching. And as soon as he saw the bombs leave that airplane, he would turn, and they would miss. And when the third ship did that, or the third time he turned, we thought that. And then when the fourth one came in, and he turned, we were just, he and I were just pretty damn sure that that's what was happening. And the fifth ship came in, and he missed again. And I said, Willie, you know something? Bill Hale was our navigator. And I said, did you notice that he turns left, and then he turns right, and then he turns left, and then he turns right, and then he turns left? I said, the next time he turns, he's going to turn right. Can you guess where he's... Bill knew how long it was going to take his bombs from the airplane down to the ground. I said, can you guess where he is going to be when those bombs hit? And he said, hell, I don't know. I said, well, try. He said, well, hell, we're the last one, and it's worth a try. So he got it all set up, and the bombs went away. And I looked in the bomb sight, I pushed him aside, and I looked in the bomb sight, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing in the crosshairs. And I thought, oh, damn, you know. And then he looked, and then he let me look, and I said, wait a minute, Willie, look. And just the nose of that